Hello, hello, and welcome to another edition of Coffee and Conversation, where we come at you every single month on the first Saturday of every month to talk about who knows whatever Barbara and I decide to bring to the table. But guess what? It is Women's History Month, and Barbara and I and the Celebrate You community want to salute all the women around the world and just say Happy Women's History Month. And we're excited because we have a great show today talking about mind-body connection. And for those of you that are wondering, what is Celebrate You? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Celebrate You and let Barbara tell you a little bit about who she is. Barbara and I are co-founders of this amazing movement. Celebrate You, Embracing Her Wellness, is a community designed to remind women about their divine power and that they don't have to be empowered. They just need to show up mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially in their zone of genius. Because when they're able to do that and love and embrace who they are in those 5 elements, then change happens. Change happens in the lives of their family, the community, the nation, and the world. And we are just so excited to be a part of this growing movement, which is now in 12 countries. In fact, when you pay attention to what's happening on International Women's Day, we are going to have individuals as far away as Bangladesh joining our stage. So Barbara and I are really excited about that. I am a strategist, a performance analyst, and I help your business go from 0 to 0,0,0,0,0. Yes, I can put a 7-figure behind your name and behind your business name. How can I do that? Because I do it for big business all day long. So if I can do it for big business, there's tips, tools, strategies in order to elevate your game to increase your impact, your influence, and your income. And now, the amazing purpose strategist, Barbara Beckley.
Thank you, Queen LaWanna Bradford. First co-founder of this wonderful platform, Celebrate You, and Coffee and Conversation with the wonderful Queen right next to me. And I'm a purpose, visibility, and social media strategist. So I really like to help women that are really having that what do I do? You know, I have my purpose, now what? Well, you need to be visible. People need to know who you are. And the social media world is crazy at times, but I put in a positive for the women. And I said, let's strategize. Everything needs to be strategized in your business. So that's what I do. So wonderful to be here, LaWanna, and let's have the conversation.
We have some amazing women backstage. I'm getting ready to bring them to the forefront. We have the amazing Marva Riley, Ferlie Almonte,
Woohoo!
and Sharon Mathis. How is it going, ladies?
Great. Awesome.
Well, I want to start with Sharon. Sharon Mathis is a powerhouse in her own right. She is a leader. She is an influence. She is a motivator. She is one who is raising up the next generation. She stands on the shoulders of giants, but she is also a giant herself. She is a CEO and founder of Insurance Associates of Atlanta. Sharon is the guru of all things insurance. Her belief is that together we can make a difference through awareness, through education. One of the things that she's passionate about is she realizes that both in families, individuals, and within businesses, sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. And you get to the point when crises happen and you're raising that red flag, like, help, what can I do? Well, Sharon is here to provide individuals with the strategies and the tools and the resources needed to build their financial portfolio and have the security that they need, both in their business and in their lives. She is a teacher. She is an educator. and she is a dreamer. And we're going to learn a little bit more about Sharon as we get into this conversation. So welcome, Sharon.
Thank you, LaWanna, and thank you for having me on your show.
Well, we have Ferlie Almonte, who is here. And Ferlie Almonte is all about resilience. And if you're wondering, well, what does that really mean? Well, resilience means that no matter what life brings your way, somehow you're like that beautiful willow, you bend, but you don't break. You may be pressed on every side, and I'm getting emotional because knowing her story and knowing that she's still right here, that she's able to share this stage, and a year ago, we didn't know if she was going to be here. That's what resiliency is all about, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to learn a lot about her passion and the whole mind-body connection and how it has helped her to come to the journey that she is with the journey that she has come through today. But also, Ferlie is, and she's in entertainment. She through her gift of song, she entertains individuals through her stories, through her music, through her love, through her passion for humanity. And she, just like Sharon, also has an insurance business where she and her partner, Christine, work tirelessly to help people wake up and realize that living benefits is so important to understand what it is and how you can have it to give yourself that safety net, that sense of security when life happens. And so we're going to learn a little bit about when life happens as we get a little deeper into the conversation with Ferlie. Welcome, Ferlie. And then we have Marva Riley, registered nurse, holistic health advocate. Oh my gosh, this woman, just like all the other two, has a story of survival, a story of saying, wait a minute, this isn't going to be my testimony. I know what the doctors have said, but I know medicine, I know faith, and I know natural practices. And I'm going to put all these together to not only heal myself, but to teach others how they can do the same, how they can take control of their physical and mental well-being. She is a celebrated author, a teacher, and an influencer, and a leader in her own right. And all three of these amazing women are celebrated women on the Celebrate You platform as Women of the Month. And so we want to welcome you, Marva, again, you, Ferlie, and Sharon, on this very special conversation about the mind-body connection.
Yeah.
Welcome, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So the first question that I have for you is, when you think of the word or the combination of words, mind-body connection, and I'll start with you, Ferlie, what does that mean to you? And why is it so important that we understand what that connection is and what it means to align in that zone?
What a terrific connection, because truly I see it more like a symphony. It needs to be in harmony with one another, because one cannot, it's very hard to balance everything in our life. So we just need to achieve harmony. But how our body responds to what our mind is telling our body is very, very powerful and very life-changing, because I am a big believer that you have to be mindful of your thoughts, because they become your reality. And that's where I find that it fuels our destiny. It fuels our desire to keep going, even when times are tough, because the mind is actually the strongest part of our body, because it can lift us up. It can actually take us to places we never imagined. And so it also heals us. And so in as part of the spirit, of course, when the mind fuels your soul to be able to basically move forward, to be resilient, to be able to be adaptable to the different demands of the environment or the relationships that we're in. It's really very important to keep that all in harmony. And that's how I see it.
I love what you use the word harmony. And I love that. And I'm going to pass that thought to you, Sharon, because we hear people say, oh, I'm trying to have balance, right? Work-life balance. But it's really not about balance. It's about harmonious living. Sharon, what does mind-body connection mean to you? And can you just dovetail a little bit about the conversation around harmony?
Well, when I look at the mind-body connection, it means to me that my mind has to stay in a positive state in order to protect this shell that we call our body. It's our shell, but we know it is our body. It's so very important that we protect that shell. All of our organs are within that shell. Our mind has to stay positive in order to protect it as the shell protects us. So I try my best to stay in that positive state of mind and keep good harmony. When we go on a day-to-day basis, we hear so much negativity. We encounter negativity, but it's very, very important to protect that mind. That mind can tell the body things, that shell things, and you want to protect those organs in there. So it's so very important. When I read that question, I said, oh man, this right here, I love it. We have to protect our shell that is protecting us on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's powerful. I love that. And it's a perfect transition to you, Marva. So I want you to answer the question, what does mind-body connection mean to you? But now from your medical lens, what Sharon just said, that the mind has to protect the body, right? But the mind can also poison the body. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, we have to understand that we are a whole being. We're not just a body. We're not just a mind, and we're not just spirit. We're a spiritual being embodied in a physical body, and we have a mind, and everything works hand in hand. That's one of the problems with healthcare nowadays, is that people, they tend to treat the headache. Well, it could be that we're stressed out or we're not sleeping. The mind is busy thinking about negative things that's leading to the headache. Okay? So we have to address our being from a holistic standpoint. If I'm eating all the vegetables and jogging every day, but I'm thinking negative thoughts, I'm not going to get very far. If I'm busy making a lot of money, but I never spend time connecting with the inner being within me, I'm not going to get very far. So when we realize that from a healthcare standpoint, we can't just treat a patient's body, we have to get to the why. Why are you experiencing this? Why are you experiencing that? What can we do on a holistic level and address it that way? We're not going to get very far with regards to our healthcare.
I love that. So we understand that we're not separate, right? We're not these, I'm a mind, or I'm a body, or it's this holistic being that is controlled by our thoughts. Our thoughts are creative powers that shape not only our inward experiences, but our outward reality. And I love everything that you all said, about staying positive, that mindset. To those of you that are joining us, we are here celebrating Women's History Month with Ferlie Almonte, Marva Riley, and Sharon Mathis. And we're talking about the power of the mind-body connection here on Coffee and Conversation. I'm LaWanna Bradford with my co-founder and partner, Miss Barbara Beckley. Barbara, you want to take the next question?
Thank you, ladies. Wonderful response. Yeah, I like what Marva said. It's a whole body. So that's wonderful what we're talking about. So I want to talk about, and I'm going to throw this to Ferlie. So, women of all ages may be subject to negative thoughts or self-talk when they see themselves in the mirror. What do you believe is needed to break this cycle? And have
Wow,
you ever been there? Have you ever been there?
what a fantastic question. Actually, I had a post where I had myself in front of a big mirror, and I said, when you look at the mirror, are you happy with the person that you've become, or do you hold back your tears because there are things in your life that you wish were not happening right now? Now, to answer your question, how do we break that self sabotage? Because oftentimes, and I will answer that two different ways, right? Like say for example, the first one is like, how do you speak to yourself?
Mhm.
I always tell that, I'm also a life coach. And one of the questions I always say to my clients is that, how do you speak to yourself when you look at the mirror? Because how you exactly see yourself is exactly what you're projecting others to receive you at. So, say for example, in the morning, even if I look like, I wake up with my hair like a done bad hair day, done king bad hair day, right? And like I look at the mirror and I say to myself, damn, you're gorgeous. The whole point is that, like, I see myself, in a very positive light every single time, because that is what I am projecting to the world. What I would suggest to people is be mindful of what you speak to yourself about. Like, we are kinder to other people but not to ourselves. But be kind to yourself first, and empower that. Your affirmations actually manifest to the universe what you are looking to attract. If you're single and you're ready to mingle, and you have this checklist of traits that you want people to be attracted to you, whatever gender that may be, but you are not embodying the kind of traits that you want to attract into the world, then magic does not happen. Dr. Wayne Dyer once said, you you do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. So,
Mm.
if you are fully aware, that self-awareness is really very important. So if we could tap into a self-awareness and begin to have an inventory of what we are spectacular at, what we are happy about in our lives, what traits we are most proud of, then we begin to basically communicate our value to the world so that we can attract the right opportunities and relationships.
Ooh, that was powerful. I loved how you mentioned and you reminded us about, what you perceive yourself, you can attract that with others around you. And that's so important to understand that. And I like when you said, just look in the mirror and said, I look good. And you have to feel good with
Look at
yourself.
this way.
Yeah. So I love how you did that. So I want to go same question with Marva. What do you believe is needed to break this cycle if you ever been there before?
Oh, I've been there before. I've hit rock bottom a few times in my life when I was young and supposedly beautiful, but I didn't feel beautiful. I didn't feel attractive. I didn't feel awesome. I remember going through divorce, and I wanted to change my hair and put braids in and do all kinds of things because I felt that the husband left because I wasn't beautiful. But once I got in touch with myself, you have to get in touch with yourself. You got to get to know you and get to love you. And part of that process is realizing that this flesh is not me, because I am going to age. I am aging. I don't look the way I looked 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And I'm going to get more wrinkles. I'm probably going to have some extra weight in some spots that I normally don't have or I don't want. But my body is not me. And once I understand that I am spirit, and spirit never ages, spirit has no color, spirit has no wrinkles, spirit is life. Once I embrace that, then whatever this flesh looks like, I'm okay with it. There was a time when there was no mirror. There was no mirror for folks or for parents to look in and look at it and say we're beautiful. But they had confidence that they were beautiful because they knew that they were not flesh. So I would say the first thing that anyone needs to understand is that you are not your body. You are a spiritual being that is hosted in this shell. I think Sharon said that. And then you will learn to accept and to love yourself. You also have to speak gently and kind, like Ferlie said, to yourself. You know, write nice things to yourself. Give yourself flowers if necessary. Take yourself on a date if no one else is taking you. But you've got to learn to love you first.
Yes. It always, yes. I'm like with Sharon. Yes. We got to learn how to love ourselves before even anybody else loves our mind, soul, spirit, and body. So I love how you brought that out. Okay, Miss Sharon, just want to get your take on it about what do you believe is needed to break this cycle, and have you ever been there?
Oh, wow. I love this. And I love what they both said. We are so all in sync because I believe first in encouraging one another, just like we're doing right here on this show, encouraging. And we have to keep positive affirmations in front of us and our goals. When we look in that mirror, we have to tell ourselves, like Ferlie said, she's damn, I'm beautiful. And I do that same thing. I get up and I look in the mirror and I say, girl, you're looking good today. So I don't need anybody else to tell me that. I've already told me that, and I've already pat myself on the back. And I keep those positive affirmations right there along with those goals. Oh yeah, I've been there. I've been there through the toughest times. But then I still had to remember those positive affirmations, protecting that mind, keeping those affirmations there. What are my goals? What is my why today? And first, believing in me. I'm that person that I want to smile at you. I want to encourage you. We don't know what women are going through, but we do know that women try to take care of everything. So smile at somebody, encourage them, and be the one that look at that crown, and when you see it's crooked, you just kind of straighten it up, and you don't even have to say anything to anybody. Fix that crown. We're here. We're encouraging one another. We got your back.
Yes, you talking my language when you talking about straightening that crown up. I just had to go there. Thank you so much.
You may have to listen.
You have to listen.
Just listening does something.
And like you said, everyone touched on affirmations. And I love how you brought that up because that's so important. Words are powerful, right? And we have to speak that life into ourselves of who we are in ourselves so people can see, and the world can see that we believe in ourselves and love ourselves. So thank you, ladies, for giving us your share of that. LaWanna?
Yeah, I like what you all said, and it's so important how we talk to ourselves. And when you think about it, when we were growing up, and I'm going to say our generation, we weren't taught that. That's not intuitive to speak life into yourself. It really isn't, unless you're trained from a young age to start speaking who you are. And I love that the new generation coming up, right? Our millennials are Gen Zers. They are more self-aware. They know who they are. They stand boldly in that truth. Mm-hmm. And when you're able to do that, whenever you uncover who you are, it becomes so liberating and so freeing, right? I mean, you're literally able to walk in a state of peace and ease, right? So I love what you're saying, and we're a work in process. I always like to say we go from glory to glory. As Marva said, she's not today who she was 10, 20 years ago, but she's a composite of all of those beautiful, wonderful experiences, no matter how celebratory they were or how difficult they were. They brought her, they brought you, they brought me, each of us to this point in time, right? For such a time as this, we can look back and say, now I get it. Now I can pull from that arsenal, right? And I want to tell everyone listening today, if you're at a place where you feel like you're struggling and you're trying to figure out how do I get over this muck that I'm in, just remember that you become a victor up to this point. If you made it to this point, whatever those challenges were yesterday, you overcame them.
Yes.
As Ferlie said, you're resilient. You may not realize it because you're so focused on the yuck that's going on. But I just encourage you all to look up and just trust and believe and hold on and know that you have greatness in you, that you have divinity in you, and that the best is yet to come. But it takes you to believe that. So the question that I want to ask you all is going into mental health. And we see on social media, everything's filtered. You know, you don't know what's real, what's not. And both young girls as well as women in our age generation are challenged with, how do I really look? How do I show up? And they're not comfortable with themselves, and it's starting to impact us mentally and physically. It's creating this unnecessary burden on us. And social media, I believe, has a responsibility to society. But once we have an awareness and a knowing, as the three of you do, it's the collective responsibility to help shield, protect, and guide those around us and the next generation. So I want to ask you, what one thing, and I'd like each of you to answer this, what one thing do you do to make sure that your mental health stays in check, no matter what the body may be doing, that your mental health stays in check? I'll start with you, Ferlie, then I'll go to Sharon and follow with Marva.
Mental health, that is so freaking relevant right now. I will answer that from a standpoint of my cancer journey. Actually, when I was diagnosed, I'm a recent cancer victor. Okay, when I was diagnosed in November of 2021 that I have cancer, so of course my spouse and I cried a little when the doctor said it is cancer. And then I bombarded her with a lot of questions. And very soon I said to her, okay, Doc, what kind of downtime are we looking here? Because I have a very busy 2022. She started to laugh. She said, I love how positively distracted you are, because 90% of your healing will come from positivity. So I carried that. I carried that mentality all throughout my journey. Through my hair loss, through my chemo weight gain, which is not pretty. There are many times that I was less desirable looking. But you know what? People actually embraced me when I showed up in my authentic self, because I made them see that this is reality. And it's okay to not be the perfect the picture perfect image that everybody has been putting out there. That strength, wisdom, and also our our impact, our legacy is based on how we show up from a whole different spectrum, and that is our spirituality. And if only people could understand that our value is not tied up to what you see on TikTok, or on all of those filtered, images that you see in there, that our value is based on who we are, based on our contribution to humanity, people will feel very differently about themselves.
Oh, I love that. As you said, your value is not tied to what you see on TikTok. I'm going to repeat that. Ladies, gentlemen, young women, your value is not tied to what you see on TikTok.
Yes.
Stop competing with the virtual world. Right? That was very powerful. I really hope that your message really resonates with someone. Needed to hear that from me. I really believe that.
Amen.
Sharon, what do you have to say about the mind and mental health, and what's the one thing you do?
The one thing that I do, and I guess piggybacking off Ferlie, it's like all of us are on the same page. We're some powerful women here. Everybody's in sync. Is when I wake in the morning, is continuing to look at that beautiful person in the mirror. And again, taken to those positive affirmations. One of my business coaches had me do an avatar. And that avatar has meant so much to me this year because I wake up every morning and read that positive avatar along with my morning prayer and looking in that mirror. And that is my biggest competition right there in that mirror. And not you, LaWanna, not you, Barbara, not you, Ferlie, not you, Marva, but the biggest competition is right there in that mirror. So I don't have to worry about anybody else over there. It's right there in front of me. And that avatar means so much as I'm doing my reading that morning avatar, my morning prayer, and putting God first, and really believing in something that I am getting. I may not see it, but as the Bible says, believing. You may not see it. Believing in something that you cannot see. So that is so powerful. We have to believe this whole thing about our mind. We have to believe in what we believe. And no matter what anybody else say and how negative they can be and tell us that it can't be done and you're not going to make it, but you have to make it just for who you saw in that mirror that morning.
Yeah, that's powerful. Belief. You know, so often we allow life to beat us down, and life will happen. Keep living, it will happen. Ebbs and flows, that's just a part of this evolution. But when you believe, that's the hope journey, right? Hoping that this too shall pass, better days will come, and that can help through whatever seat you find. Whatever your anchor is. Barbara talks a lot about finding that anchor, whether it's your faith, it may be your family, whatever it is, hold on to that to help you get through, to help you find that harmony and place of tranquility that you need in your mind. Mm-hmm. And as all three of you said, so much is in the self-talk. I mean, we can be our worst critics. But imagine if you start giving that love language back to yourself. We can love on our spouses, our significant others, but what about loving on you? Like you said, looking at yourself and saying, damn, I look good. You know, you're celebrating yourself. Barbara and I did a show a couple weeks ago, and it was wonderful. And I love that one person on the show was very transparent. She said, until this show, I never thought about celebrating myself. I never once thought about applauding myself. So think about it. She represents a lot of women out there because we're trying to wear different hats, do everything for other people, make sure everyone else is feeling okay. And then we wear the mask. So I love what you're saying. I want to turn it over to you, Marva, and let's talk a little bit about mental health and the one thing that you do. But I'd like you to add a piece to this: how nutrition can actually impact our mental well-being.
Oh yes. Now, I agree with Ferlie and Sharon. Mindset is very crucial. I remember when I was going through my traumatic experiences, I read the scripture that says, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I read the scripture that says, nothing is impossible with me. And those are two scriptures that have kept me and still keep me anchored whenever I have doubts. So I would say those are the two spiritual practices: reminding myself that all things are possible with me, reminding myself that nothing is impossible for me. Mindset, keeping my mind in a positive state all the time, no matter what things look like, no matter what my body feels like. Now, I want to say, like I said before, we're a whole being, so everything works together. That means if you're stressed out, you're eating healthily, you're stressed out, you're not sleeping at night, you're not going to get very far. And if you're chilling and taking things easy, but you're eating a whole bunch of donuts and you're eating fried foods and you're eating at McDonald's and that kind of stuff, you're not going to get very far. And if you're chilling, you're eating healthy, but you're not sleeping at night and you're not connecting with Marva, you're not connecting with Ferlie, you're not connecting with Sharon, you're not connecting with Barbara, you're not connecting with yourself, you're not spending quiet time getting to know you and to love you, the inner you, not necessarily this body, but get to know you and to love you. Because unless you love yourself, nobody else can love you. Then nothing is going to work. You've got to address your mental health from a holistic standpoint and know that a lot of the anger, the studies show that a lot of the anger, even the imprisonment of people, a lot of the illness and mental health illness are directly connected to the unhealthy food that is being fed to us by the food industry, the fast food industry. And we ourselves must bear responsibility for some of that. Because if you're sick, physically sick, there's no matter how much positive affirmations you give yourself, you're not going to be in a positive state. You're going to be fearful. You're going to be anxious. You're going to have all kind of negative thoughts coming to you. And if you're sick physically, very sick physically, you're going to be praying to God to heal you, but you're not going to be at your best spiritually. So it's important to address our health from a holistic standpoint, knowing that we are a whole being. Prayer and meditation. Prioritizing sleep, prioritizing relaxation, spending time in nature with fresh air and sunlight, eating healthily, and making physical activity a priority will help us to address our health from a holistic standpoint.
I love that. And you said about getting outside, and I was watching a documentary a few days ago. And it's very sad that so many people are vitamin D deficient. One of the critical nutrients our body needs that our body doesn't produce, right? And it could be solved if people would step outside. But we've become so comfortable with our butts in our seats, staring at our screens, that it is creating the same level of risk as if we smoked 4 packs of cigarettes a day.
Yes.
Because you have gotten really comfortable, that butt's spreading, you feel good. The only thing you're doing is getting up to go to the refrigerator or go to the bathroom, but literally people are spending 8 and 10 hours in front of their screens.
Yes.
Simple solutions. That's the one thing I love about Marva talks about, the simple solutions, the simple strategies. One of the things Ferlie talks about is understanding the simple approaches to have the joy to live life one day at a time, to make that, to climb that one step. Don't worry about the other steps. Just make it through that one step. And then with Sharon, making education so simple, so structured. How do you eat an elephant, ladies and gentlemen? It's one bite at a time.
Yes.
Don't become overwhelmed with the elephant. Just take a little slice, eat it, digest it, then take the next slice.
I've been searching for a gold mine, been digging for a long time, looking for a diamond of the rarest kind. Then one day I found a perfect treasure, a worth of impossible measure. I started to pray, then I heard you say you would forever be mine. I struck love struck love.
Barbara, before we're about to wrap up, I want you to, I guess, go into the last question, and then definitely want to do a round robin so that these amazing women can let our audience know how they can reach us. We are here on Coffee and Conversations talking about the mind-body connection with Sharon Mathis, Ferlie Almonte, and Marva Riley. Barbara.
Awesome, ladies. Wonderful talk today. So I want to go just step back a little bit, talking about the imaging in our body, honoring our body. So my question for all three of you, in a world of filters and Photoshop images, as we all see, what one suggestion can you give to help a woman love and honor their body at any age? And I want to start with Ferlie, then Sharon, then Marva.
Actually, the title of my new book, it's my fifth book, is called Bring It and Bling It. Okay, it's actually three parts to it. One is about resilience, about bouncing back from adversities. And then the second part is confidence. That's how you show up in this world so you can attract the right relationship, own your value, and all that. And then the third part is magnificence, how to live a purpose-driven life. What does Bring and Bling stand for? Bring. Believe resilience inspires never-ending growth. And at any age, we are evolving. Bling. Boldly living in natural greatness. If there is one thing that would make you stand out, think of that one thing in your life, your bling, that makes you, that separates you from all the rest, that makes you special, that makes people gravitate towards you. In my case, obviously my vibrant energy, and also my I walk the walk and talk the talk on resilience. And that is, so regardless of whatever age you are, that is timeless, because resilience, your ability to morph into a spectacular butterfly despite all the hardships that you've been through, despite of what you think about yourself, you will morph into something spectacular if you believe it. And sometimes you just have to go through the, to the yucky part of it, and I'm trying to remember the quote of that says, like, change is hard in the beginning, messy in the middle, but gorgeous in the end. In our lives, we will go through many cycles. And so in our lives right now, as we get more seasoned in age, as we embrace our true value by learning what our bling is, you would see that basically you can proudly own that special space so that you can begin to communicate the true value that you have for humanity.
Ooh, I love the butterfly. I love when you bring up the butterfly, because like you said, just bring it. And I can't wait for that book. Bring it and then bling
In
it.
a couple of weeks, it's coming out.
Yes, at any age.
Can I add something? And what you just said is the bling. Ladies, gentlemen, find your bling factor. Show up unapologetically. Own it. No one else can occupy that bling space but you, because it's yours alone. You're that unique fingerprint here on this earth for this time. So I love the bling component. Ferlie, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, actually, all my social media handler is at Ferlie Almonte. You can see the spelling, Ferlie Almonte, Almonte. You can send me a private message. I respond basically in just a couple of hours. I'm very interactive on my social media, and let me know how I could ignite your bling. Let me uncage it.
Awesome. So now I want to go to Miss Sharon. Same question. What one suggestion can you give to help a woman love and honor her body at any age? Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. This question was so important to me. I'm just going to read it verbatim because I felt this in this talk show. At the age of 63, I get it, because our body does not look as it used to look. But let's live to be healthy. As each year passes, we should be grateful for another year and look more at how to better protect our shell, that protect our organs, rather than how someone else see you. Let's be real. You're looking at another book cover and thinking, why can I not be like that? Well, let's try being ourselves. Let's try owning our own business and Googling how to better protect our shell, because you don't know what is underneath another shell or book cover. You do know what is underneath your own. And our doctors tell us annually what we can do to better protect it. So let's concentrate on our shells and keeping it healthy. And remember, illness has no age. So let's work on our shell and not someone else, our business.
Oh, that was powerful. Protect your own shell. And oh my God, like you said, it has no age range. You have to do it for yourself. That is powerful. LaWanna, did you want to say something before we get to Sharon, how to contact Sharon and go to Marva?
Yeah, I was just going to ask her the best way to contact you, Sharon.
Oh, I was about to do that. So yeah, best way to contact you, Sharon.
Okay, you can reach me at all my social media, which is Insurance Associates. And of course, you can reach me in Conyers, Georgia at 770-483-0310. And we will be looking for you to call.
Okay, thank you so much, Sharon.
48301.
0310.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to Miss Marva. And same question for you, lady. What is one suggestion can you give to help a woman love and honor her body at any age?
Wow. What a powerful question. And I could say ditto to what Miss Sharon said, because she really hit the nail on the head. As you all know, I would agree with that. Take care of yourself. I remember a few years ago when I was getting to know myself, I decided that I was not going to wear makeup every day. I just decided I was not going to wear makeup every day. So I stopped wearing makeup to work. At home, I'll wear makeup like now I'm on a show. I don't always do a makeup when I'm on a show or an interview. That is one way in which I have learned to love what's looking back at me. I don't need to wear makeup base all the time. My skin needs to breathe. Delicious food, my skin will glow and will look healthy throughout my lifespan, whether I'm 20, 30, 50, 60s, 70s, or 80s. So, ladies, I would say at whatever age you are, you don't have to walk around with the hair done up all the time. You don't have to wear the eye makeup all the time, the lipstick, the makeup base, the earring, be dressed up all the time. Sometimes it's okay to just get up and walk around, lounge around in your pajama in the house, for example, or wear whatever you feel like in your backyard, because that's really not who you are. Remember, I said in the beginning, you are not your body. This shell, 20 years ago when I started going through menopause, I can barely get it into a ponytail now. I lost a lot of that hair. It was a lot thicker. Even though I eat healthy and I take care of myself, it just has not grown back to shoulder length. So we're going to go through changes. We're going to get gray hair. We're going to go through change. But as you ditch, as you ditch the makeup, as you ditch the Photoshop, and you look in the mirror, like Ferlie said, and you say, girl, you look damn good. You will get used to the naturalness and embrace it. And you won't need those eyelashes and things like that to feel beautiful. You might put them on, yeah, because you want to, but it's not because you feel that you're more beautiful with the makeup than you are without the makeup. So that's one thing that I do. That's one thing I do to embrace my beauty. and my naturalness. Another quick thing that I would say is find your passion and live it. You don't know what you're passionate about? Spend some quiet time and ask the Spirit to show you, what am I passionate about? What should I be talking about? What movement should I have? And once you discover that, live it in your fullness. You will feel beautiful. You will feel alive. You'll feel young, because youth is really not a number. You can be 70 years old and feel like you're 35 if you're living your dream and living your passion and living in your purpose.
Ooh, yes. The only thing I can say is, how can they contact you, Miss Marva?
Okay, so my name is Marva Riley, and I'm on most major social media. I am on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and LinkedIn as Marva Riley. And I also have a website, rnmarvariley.com. You can message me. I always respond to all my messages and all my social media sites.
Thank you so much, Marva. Thank you, ladies. I'm going to give it back to LaWanna. She's on pause. Okay, I just want to say this. Thank you again for sharing your wisdom for the audience and the ladies out there. They really need to hear your voice. So I'm going to give it back to LaWanna.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, ladies. This has been really great. It's been very rich, and I believe it's life-changing for someone. And at the very least, it reinforces what that person may already know. Sometimes we need to hear that echo from other women who are walking the walk and walking it boldly with that straightened crown, with that power of resilience, and walking in passion and authority. And so I thank each and every one of you. Before we go, I want to do a round robin, and I want you to look in the camera, and I want you to speak to that young girl who's coming up behind us. What do you want to tell her about maintaining a healthy mind-body connection? And I'll give you each 1 minute to close us out. Marva.
Okay. My friends, my daughters, my sisters, just know that the body, the mind, and the spirit work together hand in hand. Know that you are God's beautiful, amazing creation. You're no less than. You're beautiful now. You've always been beautiful, and you will always be beautiful. But you've got to take care of yourself. You've got to take care of your mind. Do not allow social media to control your mind. Be yourself. Get to know who you are. Live in your purpose. Take care of your body. Now is the best time to start eating healthily, to make sleep a priority, to exercise regularly, to enjoy life. You have one body, and you have got to take care of it. Whatever you put in that body, whatever you feed your mind with, whatever you feed your spirit with, is what you're gonna get out. So do right by your body. Take care of yourself first. Put the oxygen on yourself first. Take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else. If you do the right thing by yourself now, it's more than likely you're going to age beautiful like I am. You know what I mean?
Love it. So it's never too early or too late to start taking care of this amazing vessel that we are inhabiting. So thank you so much. I'm going to close with you, Ferlie. Sharon, look at the camera and speak to that young girl. What do you want to tell her?
I want to tell you, young lady, we need to go back to talking to our elders. We need to hear what they're saying. They have a lot that we can listen to, the wisdom. Please know that women are taking control of this platform of our beauty. We don't need a man to justify if we look good. Please know we don't need anyone else to justify anything. We are young. There's a song out there, Living My Best Life. Don't sing it if you're not going to bring it. Please bring it for yourself. Look in that mirror. Tell yourself, I'm living my best life. I don't need anyone else to tell me I look good. I'm going to work on my health. I'm going to do what I want. I don't need anybody else to tell me I am it. I am in control. I may not see those steps, but I am getting ready to do what I believe in.
Woo! All right. Close us out, Ferlie. Speak to that young woman.
Hey there, beautiful. I just want you to know you are perfect and amazing just the way you are. You are beautifully and perfectly, how do you call that? Perfectly imperfect. Perfectly imperfect. So, and don't let anyone box you in. Don't let anyone define you. Don't be so caught up with what the media is pressing you on, because you are beautiful from your core, from your inside. And remember, you are going through a metamorphosis. So you're going to morph through in life, and the best is yet to come. You are going to be a flower that will be in full bloom in your amazingness, and the value that you're going to put out there will depend on how you see yourself and how you claim your crown and your value, and how you are going to be able to share with others your legacy and your impact. What is most important is who you are inside. The shell is beautiful. You got to take care of it. Definitely be healthy. But also, when you feed your mind with all healthy thoughts, you will also find that you will be able to step into your best life confidently and magnificently. So, bring it and bling it.
I love it, love it. Ladies, thank you so very much for joining us on Coffee and Conversation during this Women's History Month. I am so excited about everything that you all are doing. I love watching your posts and the way that you are moving in your strength and changing the world one life at a time. It's all about a love walk, and you all have a compassion for humanity. And so continue to show up in your brilliance and your authority and shine like a diamond, right, Barbara?
Diamond.
That's right.
So Marva Riley, Sharon Mathis, Ferlie Almonte, thank you so very much for joining Barbara Beckley and me on another edition of Coffee and Conversation. And I'll turn it over to Barbara to do our signature closeout. Barbara?
Okay, everybody get your hands up. Get that heart going right there. There you go. What we say, love yourself. Get pumping. Embrace yourself like we do all the time. Yes. And whatever you do, celebrate you.
Bye, everyone. See you next month.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So much for having us.
Thank you.
I've been searching for a gold mine, been digging for a long time, looking for a diamond of the rarest kind. Then one day I found a perfect treasure, a worth of impossible measure. I started to pray, then I heard you say you would forever be mine. I struck love